This is Classic FM.
And here we are at Classic FM with Gareth Malone, the man of the choirs, various different choirs. You're always launching them.
I know.
And all different types of choir.
I'd like to apologise, it's another choir.
Well, I was going to say, and what are you doing this time?
I'm starting my own young professionals choir. I'm looking for very talented... I mean, this is such an amazing country for singing. We have the best choirs in the world, quite frankly. I'm unabashed about that. And I want to create a choir that's going to be quite mainstream. It's going to be very much my personal project, this. It's a choir I sort of always wanted to create. And I want to, instead of starting with people who are amateurs or who haven't sung before, which I've done a lot of and will continue to do because I love doing that, I want to work with professionals.
So you're actually, so because when I first saw you, it was at some event and you got up and you made the whole room start singing when they didn't really think they could sing, and you're a bit of a specialist at that. And then you went on and did a lot of that.
my niche, yeah.
But, you know, which is great. I mean, it's absolutely amazing to watch how you can transform a room full of people who all go, well, I can't sing.
I'm not doing it.
They're not singing, not me. And then by the end of it, they're having a great time. And then, of course, Military Wives came along, and that was, again, bringing together a lot of amateurs, but with a great result. So are you bored with amateurs? Is that what you're saying?
It's not that, no, because it's an endlessly interesting challenge, but I just feel like I want to do that. I want to take the next step. And you look at lots of conductors, you know, they want to work with great singers. And I want to inspire people. I want to create a kind of beacon choir for young people to look at and think, I want to be in that choir. You know, a friend of mine went to see the National Youth Choir of Great Britain last Sunday when they were doing the Monteverdi Vespers at the Royal Albert Hall, and took their 8-year-old. And their 8-year-old was absolutely rapt because she was looking at young people singing on stage. And I think you get that sense of like, that could be me. And I want choirs to feel like that sense of being approachable. So we're going to be doing interesting repertoire in interesting ways. We're going to try to use some of the modern recording techniques that I think young people and, well, all of us, we're used to hearing this incredibly up close and personal recording style. And
so not just a big choir microphones, maybe recording, as they say, in tracks and so on, getting different bits of the choir.
Multi-tracking.
And then bringing it all together with a computer. And
So David Coston, who is actually a very exciting record producer who's done everything back for Lashes. He's certainly from the kind of the left field side of the pop world. I'm bringing him in. He's actually got a classical background. He was in the National Youth Orchestra as a young person, so he's got that sensibility. But he's bringing a very different kind of recording style to this. So we're hoping to use close miking and processing and all those sorts of things that we're so used to in the world of pop that make things orally really exciting and really kind of, you know, ear candy.
But do you know, I was listening, came onto my iPod the other day to Bohemian Rhapsody, and I knew one of the engineers who worked on it. It took months and months and months to get right, and it was the early days of multi-tracking and so on. We're talking about, what, 1970s and so on. It was, and when you start listening to it and really listening to it, it's fascinating the effects they created with relatively small amounts of technology compared to what we have today.
What you can do now is
it sounds as though you're going to really take things...
I hope so, and it hasn't really been done as far as I know. You know, no one's taken a choir, you know, and I hope of great calibre, you know, really great singers that will one day graduate onto, you know, let's say the Monteverdi choir or the 16. You know, I'm looking for some people of that level of ability but to put them in a completely different sort of recording setup and challenge what choirs are.
But does that mean that you'll therefore? I mean, you know, I've seen that Gareth needs you, Gareth wants you, sort of the whole idea. Doesn't that mean really you just need to go to the Royal Academy and all the big places and just say,
I want the best of the best.
Or are you looking to discover those people who actually are brilliant?
I'm always looking for that.
Singing with some amateur choir or semi-professional choir somewhere who've just not been included in something like this.
I would hope that there are going to be lots of people like that, you know, and I want it to represent the whole country. I want it to be a British choir that represents the best of British youth choirs. So if it's somebody, it could be somebody who's sung with their local youth choir, who's, you know, maybe plays a bit of an instrument on the side, very serious about singing, has a kind of contemporary and fresh outlook and attitude towards choirs, and wants to help me in my mission to, you know, spread them further. So that could be anyone. I mean, they need to be good. You know, these are not that we're going to be doing close harmonies, lots of, you know, Eric Whittaker style clashes. There's going to be a level of technical expertise. Sight reading is going to be important. But you don't have to have gone to the Royal Academy to have absorbed those skills. You know.
I mean, I bet you there are many people who do sing with choirs, who may be slightly frustrated at times, thinking, I'd love to take this to the next level, and that might be where you're
very
talking
much,
about.
very much. And, you know, they need to be serious, but it doesn't have to be, you know, that they have already developed that to the point of singing in Glyndebourne chorus. But I do want people who are really, really good. And I'm unabashed about that. You know, it's been fantastic for me over the last few years to show what you can do with people. You know, I've had people in my choirs who are, you know, will admit to being dreadful singers, but we find a way to make it work, and we weave them in, and I make it happen. And we had a number one, and so there were some singers in there who were not confident. But this is now about creating a really serene and beautiful sound with songs that I think are modern classics. So, you know, the song is such a wonderful thing. You know, it's my favourite. You know, whether I'm listening to Schubert or I'm listening to a pop song, I love that little, you know, that little moment in time that a song represents, and I want to use a choir to represent some great modern songs.
You mentioned you had a number one. Did you, when you put that project together, did you think this is going to be a number one, it's going to go as big as it did?
No, I mean, if I'm honest, I had a suspicion that it would chime. And you know, the idea came to me from, you know, sitting reading the Red Tops, you know, that it was in the air, and I, you know, I get a lot of letters from, I mean, I get a lot of letters of people saying, why don't you come to my church hall, why don't you come here? And this letter from a military wife really leapt out, and I've been thinking about military, the whole thing, it just sort of gelled. And when you have a moment like that, you think, okay, there's something in this idea, there's a kind of kernel of excitement about it. And I remember the press girl from the TV company calling me in about July, and the programme didn't go on to about October or November, calling and saying there's a lot of press interest already, just from the title, because it was you know, Gareth Malone, the choir, Military Wives. That said it all.
Exactly.
You kind of got it. So, and I think those are always the best ideas. And I hope that this is one. You know, it's Gareth Malone, young professionals inspiring the next generation of young singers in this country.
Why did you start, by the way, with all the, you know, what made you wake up one morning and go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull together disparate groups of people and get them singing.
I wish it had been like that.
It wasn't
some
like
eureka
that,
moment. I think that the world tells you what your skills are in a way. You know, I feel like I had all sorts of ambitions here, and then I'd do something and it would just take me off or down a side road. You know, I was doing lots of theatre, I was doing lots of music workshops, going to schools, and I found a talent for that. Running workshops, just working with people in the way you were describing earlier, just getting up in a room, saying, right, come on everyone, we're going to sing, and trying to charm, being a musical snake charmer. And then I went and studied at the Royal Academy of Music and really enjoyed making music at a high level of, you know, as high level as possible. And so I've been trying to combine the two for a long time. So it feels like this is a great moment for me, because it's kind of both. It's definitely an outreach project in terms of I hope that the record's going to go out there and appeal to people and draw people towards choirs more, but at the same time it's about, you know, my own sense of musical achievement and excellence.
Which begs the question, just to finish with that, what's going to happen, it sounds to me, if it's as successful as I'm sure it will be, knowing you, it's annoying how you just pick things up and they're just always successful. But, you know, you're going to take this, and I could see this morphing into some international tours and all sorts of big things that, you know, does it worry you? I mean, are you thinking this could get too big, or are you just thinking let's get on for the ride and enjoy it? You know?
I got on this train a few years ago, and there was a moment where my wife and I sat in a flat and had this conversation very late one night, just before I had signed the contract to do my very first series, and said this could go really big. And we both said, yeah, well, it could also not, but let's see what happens. And since then, it's been an utter roller coaster. And this feels like the next stage, and I'm ready for it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And talking of you and your wife, fantastic news at the weekend, was it?
I am the father of a son.
Gosh,
amazing, and a daughter as well, which is I'm very, very lucky.
And Gilbert is I was saying a moment ago, Gilbert's an interesting name.
I don't know any Gilberts, so that was part of the appeal. And trying to find retro names. Everyone's called Arthur all of a sudden. So we're trying to find a name that we both loved, and I think Gil was in Anne of Green Gables, was the romantic lead. So my wife liked that, and of course I was brought up on Gilbert and Sullivan, so that W.S. Gilbert, fantastic.
That's you know, because I was too. My mother used to take me to the mall, and everyone thinks they're a bit sort of passé these days, and so it's great to hear you bringing them back your own son.
Yeah, my own son. Yes, a wandering minstrel. I think
he'll be an operetta before you know where you are.
He'll be in an operetta, or
oh well, definitely.
Oh, do you think that would be my next
Maybe it's
move
the next thing.
after
As
this?
he grows up,
yes,
you can create the vehicle for the children.
I'll do that.
It's terrific talking to you, Gareth, and best of luck with the new project.
Thank you. It's going to be massive.
Gareth Malone.